Hey guys, Rob here from Chaos Calisthenics. Thank you for tuning into my channel today. Today I want to talk about how slow and steady wins the race when it comes to our health and fitness approaches. So small incremental progress, and I know this is largely an unsexy message and a very unexciting message, but slow and steady really does win the race when it comes both to weight loss and strength and muscle gain. So adding small increments to your lifts, like I bought some Microplates upon the suggestion of a client a few years back, which is another interesting side topic, is that you can always learn something from people. Because I had a 60-year-old lady say to me, why don't they do any smaller plates than the 1.25 kilo plate? So I did some Googling, and they did plates that went right down to 125 grams. So I purchased these micro plates and I started loading a lot of my clients' lifts with the micro plates as well as with the large plates. This means that we can progress some people are honestly progressing for years on end because you just don't plateau. Your body doesn't notice these small increases of 125 grams per side of the bar, or on a weighted chin up, or a weighted dip, or a curl or something like that. It just doesn't notice these small incremental increases. So you can just set PBs for just a ridiculously long period of time. So micro loading, that's called, and I'll put some links to fractional plates in the box below. But that suggestion was made to me by one of my clients who'd been training for about a week. So it just shows that you should always listen to people, because sometimes they're talking nonsense, but sometimes they're going to give you a little slice of knowledge pie that you can take with you, and will really help you out. So I think sometimes as well, when we're experts, or we think we're experts in a field, when a so-called layman talks about that subject, we almost already have our biases ready to go. We almost have our reply already in the chamber to go, oh, wait, you need to think about this, whereas we're not really listening to what they're saying quite often. So you can learn something from almost anyone about any subject. But that is a talk for another day. Getting on to diet now. Losing very small amounts of weight is very easy and very sustainable. So I would suggest that you take this approach with your fat loss. Nail your calorie deficit, but make it a small one. Make it something that's easily doable on a weekly basis, so you can still have a few treats, a few cakes, a few delicacies, and a couple drinks. And that way, you're not going to really feel cheated. But half a pound is like nothing. However, you stack that together for, 50 weeks, let's say. You stick that together for a year. And I know what you're thinking, oh, I don't want to have to diet for a year. But really, if we want to stay lean, we have to diet forever. It's just the way it is. And by diet, I just mean being on a diet, but exercising restraint. You have to exercise restraint in some way over the long period and have some discipline. Obviously, you can't just eat a whole birthday cake 7 days a week and expect to be lean. So whilst we do need to be strict with our adherence to some kind of calorie deficit or some kind of reasonable eating plan, we need to adhere to that to stay lean over the long term. It's really not that hard, and you'd be very surprised at how much food you can get away with. If you're only trying to lose a half pound to a pound a week, you can probably still have most of the things that you like. You just may not be able to eat as much of them as you would like. Obviously, I love a whole tub of ice cream, love it, but a couple of scoops is going to have you still satiate that sweet tooth, but you're not going to massively overeat your calories. I love 7 or 8 craft beers, followed by a kebab and possibly a fight, especially when I was younger, but I'm retired from that now. Plus, it's okay because I only used to lose the fights, which makes it totally fine. It was a victimless situation. But yeah, what I'm getting at here is, of course, we can indulge, but if you indulge to the point that you would really like to, it is going to harm your fat loss efforts. So the key is, over the long term, just retaining a bit of discipline and trying not to let things go completely off the rails, because one day of a bit of a few dietary dalliances, one day of going off the rails it's not going to make any difference. Even a week, you're going to lose that water weight within a few days of being back on your more sort of sensible longer term eating strategies. So there we go, guys. Small incremental progress wins the race. This is true across so many things. So just try and think about this rule of being 1% better. I love the rule of 1%. I was going to get the tattoo. Glad I didn't, because it would have been kind of cheesy. But I love this idea of a 1% improvement across all areas sustainably over a long time. So more on that another time. Now let me cast mine eyes upon our repetitions.